Hi everyone, welcome to Comic Book Corner. I'm Dan De La Torre. I wanted to do a two-in-one video if I may. The subject on the first part of this video is kind of negative, and nobody wants to hear just a negative show. But has this happened to you? I've been a collector for almost 50, well, pardon me, over 50 years. And one element that has happened to me, sadly, is comics stolen out of my collection. And it's heartbreaking and it's disturbing, and there's many phases of it. When I first started collecting, when I was in my late 20s, I had a very prominent comic stolen, and I thought I knew who did it. Sad thing was I couldn't prove it. Back in those days, you call the police or something, some officer shows up at your door. I was living in a little shared house situation. I had rented a room. That's all I could afford at the time. And like I said, I pretty much knew who took it, but couldn't do it. So if a guy shows up at your door who's an officer, and you tell him the story, he'll say like, "Come on, kid, have your mom get you another comic," that kind of thing. They didn't take it seriously. And even today, many decades later, there's still kind of that mindset if you're a collector. They don't take you seriously. They don't care about it. They don't understand it. And that's true with many collections. I'm hearing stories here in California of card shops that are being, broken into for what do you call those Pokemon cards and all that. They're very expensive. I don't collect them. I have a few friends that collect those cards. They know the market very well, but people don't understand the value of some of these things. I just want to show you two that were stolen and I got back. In fact, the one that I got was a Golden Age book that I got from Comic Relief in Berkeley, which is one of the best comic shops ever back in the mid '80s or late '80s. And I paid $75 for it, and then I brought it home and I looked it up on Overstreet, and according to Overstreet, it was a scarce copy, meaning there's only 100 or so that exist, and it's this one right here. Now, like I said, I couldn't prove it. It was heartbreaking because you couldn't find another one. Well, about 2 years later, I found, I believe, the very same comic. Because keep in mind, there's only 100 of these known to exist. And there's a pencil marking on it that looks familiar to me. And here it is right here. It's All Winners number 19. This is the first and only Marvel Comics superhero team in the Golden Age. And this is their first appearance. There are only two issues, 19 and 21. And this is one right here. I hope there's not too much glare with this. But this meant a lot to me. And then I found it on eBay not that long ago, and I paid, God, what I paid for it? I think it was about $1,200 or so. And again, it's been beat to hell. This was all this chewed up area here was not here. This poor thing has been through the ringer, but it is still here. It's still complete, and CGC gave it a point 0.5, but it is complete, and it is the first appearance. But to have it back in your collection meant an awful lot to me. So that's interesting, kind of a rare story. But this was one that was stolen. There are a few others. I'm not going to overly profile all of the others. There are quite a number. And if you're looking at the market value today for all the things that were stolen from me, many thousands of dollars. Not quite. I don't think I've made it to the $10,000 mark, but it was close. Because here's the only other one I'll show, because again, there were several others. When this came out, I believe this was 1988, and at the same comic shop, my comic shop in Berkeley, there was no restrictions. You saw something on the wall, buy it. They don't care. Some LCSs, they didn't call them LCSs back in those days, they would limit you to two or three of the new comics for whatever reason. They wanted to spread that out. Not in this case. When I saw this, I was instantly taken by this cover. Now, Todd McFarlane, who did this, wasn't that well known at the time. He was just sort of getting started with this, but anyone would be taken by this cover, and it's this one right here. Incredible Hulk number 340. This is a fantastic and just unbelievable cover, and the story is underrated, by the way. It's a Hulk versus Wolverine story, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. You can get a inexpensive reprint copy to read the story. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. It shows their powers in a certain different way. And McFarlane, he's known for his art, not for his story work, but the story was fantastic on this one. I had about 10 of these, I'd say. Again, I just grabbed them off the rack because I just loved it so much. And again, they disappeared. I suspect I know who it was. Is it possible to get them back? Maybe. But again, that was a long, long time ago. But this cost me about $250 to get back. I had my friend Comic Ozzy get this at the Terrificon that happened about a month ago. So he found one within the price range that I could afford. I would like to get another one. Would like to get a graded copy of this, just because it's a hot comic. You can't go wrong by getting these. But you know, these things, sadly, these things happen, and you just have to do your best and move forward. Let me know in the comments if any of you had that issue. You don't have to say who, or you can tell me what comic was stolen, and you know what you did, what you felt about it, were the police involved, because that's a subject that doesn't come up very often. But I want to hear your comments. Now, the positive side. Let's switch now. Being a collector as long as I have, I've developed over the many decades good instincts because I read them. I love the comics, and I'm very much involved in the comic world. I happened to go to the one and only San Diego Comic Con 2 years ago, 2024. I was invited as a guest speaker to talk about whatever the subject was. And the friend I went with, he said, there's a lot of panels you can go to, because I was totally new to the whole thing. He said, yeah, why don't you go to one of those things? I'm glad I listened to him. And the reason why is this. I'm walking around the convention, and there's this line, huge line that's out there. And I asked somebody, hey, what's this line for? They said, oh, it's the DC panel for new DC comics of that year. And I'm more of a Marvel guy. I love DC. Trust me, I love these, Superman, Batman, all the rest of them. But when I was a kid, I only had so much money, so I mostly bought Marvel because I liked the stories better. So I'm thinking, and I stopped collecting modern comics in the mid-90s. Silver, bronze, and copper was my wheelhouse. And then when the writers changed, the artists changed, it wasn't me anymore. So so it's DC, which I'm not the biggest collector of, and new comics. And I almost didn't get into the line. But I thought, I'm here. Come on, you paid money here. Just go in the line. So I'm going to the line. It's a very long line. And I realized, wait a minute, I may be wasting my time. You could be in here for an hour or so and still not get in because they only take so many. Anyway, I was one of the last people to get in, but I did get in. And I sat and they talked about the previous year's, whatever they were doing. I forget what their theme was. And then a guy named Scott Snyder was there. And who else was there on the panel? A few others, I can't remember who they were. And they talked about something that they had a new idea. It was called the Absolute Series. And as they discussed it, and again, I'm an old collector. I'm not quite a cynic. You have to have something of real interest to grab my attention. They did. This Absolute Series did grab my attention. And I'm like, wow, I like what they're doing here. And I had not been inspired to buy new comics in maybe 20 years. I bought some maybe 3 years ago to put my toe in the water. Wasn't really impressed. But the more they talked, the more I was very, very interested in this whole thing. So I went and bought. After leaving that panel, it was really very impressive. And of course, the first one I bought was this one here, the All-In Special. This is the first appearance of Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I have two of these actually because I wanted to invest, which I rarely do. But again, I knew they were onto something. My instincts were very, very good at this. In fact, I was on a show with FaceTime. What was this old show? It was, the Comic Kingpins. I love the Comic Kingpins. If you can, check out the Kingpins. They're hilarious. They're great people. I think he's going to come back to YouTube very, very soon. But I told him about this whole thing. I said, wow, I'm telling them what I just told you, how inspired I was. So I got this. And I got this one here, The Absolute Superman, which I've not read, by the way. I do have The Absolute Wonder Woman. I couldn't find it. And anyway, just take my word for it. But I did get, sorry, little plastic bottles falling on my collection here. I did get this. Absolute Batman 1. This is one of the hottest comics in recent history. And I had said at the time, when, sometimes you get a hot comic and it's a flash in the pan, meaning that it's not going to last very long. I was saying in every chat that would listen to me This has legs. Hang on to this one. There's something about this whole storyline. If they can keep that going, which they apparently are, and now this is leading to an animated series, this is a hot issue, topic. I thought I had a second one. I'll look. I mean, my collection is such a mess right now. I'm trying to. I would be horrified to show you my room right now because all the comics are spread everywhere. I'm trying to get everything in order, and that's a tough job if you've never done it before. But I'm hanging on to this one. You can do whatever you want. I've got a friend, Sith Lordly. By the way, join me on Spine-Tix every Saturday. Sith Lordly is a great man. He had one of these, and he traded for a really nice Silver Age Marvel comic. He got a great deal. And that's fine. I don't really sell comics. I just don't. I buy them and I collect them. So I've still got mine. So I'm not suggesting this for investment value. You do whatever you want to do. I'm not an investment guy. But this one is still moving forward, and I'm going to hang on to this for a while. Some have said this could be the new Ultimate Fallout 4. Very possible. We'll see. But this has legs. And in fact, what I did, there are a few others that came out, and I bought them just because. Here's this, what do you call this? I forget what they call it. It's a foil edition, but there's a word for it here where there's no description on it here. That didn't cost me that much. I did get this. This is not the, this is the Noir edition. So that didn't cost me. All these are cover price, by the way. I didn't pay anything extra for these here, and I'm hanging on to these. But I'll end it on this on a very, very positive note. And again, just sometimes good things happen to you the more you try. You just get lucky. And I got really, really lucky with this one because preceding, as I understand it, bring this out because they're all pricey books now. I put this in an oversleeve, as you can tell, the Batman 1, because I got to protect it. And I'm going to protect this. And then since I don't have a grading company anymore, I've got no place to send this. Anyway, they did, at the panel, hand out to each and every person that was there at that con in San Diego in 2024, the ash can. I have the ash can. And I was delighted to get it. And this easily could be a 9.8. Wow, the more I look at this could be better than 9.8. There's a 9.9 there's a few 9.9s out there. This could be one of them. This is absolutely gorgeous. When I went to the con, I came prepared. I had bags of boards ready to go. I was given to this was given to me like everybody else there. Instantly, I stopped what I was doing, put my backpack down, brought up my bag and board, and put it in the bag that's still in, by the way. I was extremely careful with it. So this is it right here. This book is moving. If you can find them, there's only 500. They only made for that one convention. You know, you either you were there or you didn't get it, or you paid a premium for it. But I was lucky, and thank you to my friend that recommended that I sat here. But I just want to show you that, you know, even though you have bad luck with people taking things from you, like this, but then the universe provides, and you get things like this. So I'm a big fan of, I'm a martial arts instructor, and we have the yin and yang. You know, there's nothing is equal on either side, the yin and yang, and that's kind of what this is here. This is the positive part of comic collecting. I just wanted to show you. So anyway, that's just a quick video, guys. Wanted to show you some bad aspects and some very good aspects, and that's why I love comic collecting, because you never know what you're going to get. Everyone, thanks for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. This is Dan De La Torre, and this is Comic Book Corner.